Someone is lying awake right now, and the worst part is they know exactly why. It is you. Spirit did not ease me into this one. I barely got settled before I saw somebody sitting up in the dark, phone in their hand, face lit blue, eyes tired like they have been trying to force themselves not to think your name, and they keep failing. They are not just missing you. No, this feels stranger than that. Their body is acting like it has discovered something their pride is still trying to deny. And the card in front of me is the Nine of Wands, Azurite. That matters, because this card is not giving me soft little romance energy. It is giving me guarded, exhausted, still standing, impossible to break energy. Look at those wands crossing like a barrier on the stairs, and then that bright star above it. That is you in this reading. Protected, tired maybe, but still lit up. Still somehow shining in a place where most people would have gone dark. So make sure to press the like button under this video. And if you want to support my work or get a personal reading, the link is in the description. Okay, let's keep going, because this is not a they are obsessed with you kind of reading. It is something different. This person built an idea of you in their head, and that idea just broke. They thought you were easier to understand than you are. Softer, more available, more predictable. Maybe beautiful, yes, but not dangerous to their ego. Maybe kind, yes, but not powerful enough to keep them up at night. And then something happened. Wait, hold on. I am seeing this as a moment, not a long conversation. Something quick, a post, a look, a silence, a message they reread. Or maybe you did nothing dramatic at all. You just stayed calm when they expected you to fold. And that is what scared them, because suddenly they realized your calm is not weakness. It is control. And now, every time they close their eyes, they see the star above those stairs and understand they may never reach you the same way again. And that is why they cannot rest. Because this is not the kind of thinking where somebody just misses your voice and gets a little sentimental before bed. No, this is the kind of thinking where their chest gets tight because their mind keeps trying to place you back into the version of you they were comfortable with, and you will not fit there anymore. I am also looking at this Three of Swords energy, but it is reversed, and with Shungite there, this feels like something toxic trying to leave the body. Like the pain is not fresh in the usual way. It is surfacing because it has nowhere else to hide. Three swords in the heart, but upside down, wrapped in that strange covered shape, almost like somebody tried to bury the truth, cover the wound, pretend it was not bleeding, and now at night, when everything gets quiet, it starts speaking. That is what is happening to them. Their body remembers what their pride keeps editing. They may be telling themselves, I am fine, I can sleep, I am not affected, it was not that serious. But then the room gets dark, the phone goes quiet, nobody is performing anymore. And there you are again, not chasing, not begging, not collapsing, just standing behind those crossed wands with that star above you like, you can see me, but you cannot access me without truth. And that is messing with them badly because you became too real, not perfect like fake, not perfect like untouchable in some shallow way. Perfect in the way that exposed the lie they were telling themselves. Perfect in the way your restraint made their confidence look immature. Perfect in the way your silence had more weight than their excuses. They thought distance would make you smaller. It made you brighter. They thought time would make them forget. It made their nervous system memorize you. And what Spirit keeps pulling me back to is one detail, one very specific detail. Something about your face, your words, your silence. or the way you did not react when they expected you to. They keep replaying that part because that was the moment something in them knew. You were not losing control. They were. And the detail is not even loud. That is what makes it worse for them. I am looking at this Page of Wands appetite, and I need you to notice the energy here. This is not somebody screaming for attention. This is a figure holding fruit, holding the wand, looking away like, I have life in my hands. I have options. I have appetite for more than whatever you were offering me. And that is the part they keep replaying. Your energy did not look empty without them. That is the detail. Maybe it was a delayed reply. Maybe it was the way you answered with fewer words than usual. Maybe it was your face in a picture, calm, composed, almost too steady. Maybe it was the way you did not check on them, did not chase the mood, did not run behind the silence, trying to fix what they created. And they expected you to. Let me say that clearly. They expected something from you. A crack, a question, a paragraph, a little proof that you were still emotionally standing at the door, waiting for them to decide what they wanted. They expected your care to make you predictable. But instead, they saw composure. And composure is scary to somebody who was depending on your reaction. Because now they are staring at their phone, rereading whatever was said, or going back to your profile, or hovering over your name like they are about to type, and then stopping. Not because they do not want to, because they do not know what version of you they are about to meet. That Page of Wands is giving me this young, restless curiosity in them, like they want to poke the fire just to see if it still burns for them. But appetite is also desire, hunger, wanting. And now their wanting is embarrassing them because you are not feeding it the way you used to. You pulled your energy back and somehow you became more vivid. That is what their mind keeps circling at night. Not just your beauty, not just your presence, your restraint, the fact that you could care and still choose yourself. And the strangest part is, they are not only afraid of losing you, they are afraid you were never fully theirs. And that is where the contradiction starts tearing them up. Because part of them wants to get closer. Part of them wants to test the door, touch the handle, see if there is still some warmth on the other side. But another part of them is scared of what happens if you open it and they have to stand there without the mask. Wait, look at this. The Emperor is reversed here, lapis lazuli. That matters. Because upright, the Emperor wants control, structure, authority, the final word. But reversed, this is somebody realizing control is not the same thing as strength. This is someone who may have tried to sit above the feeling, act above the connection, act like they could decide when you mattered and when you did not. And now they cannot even control their own mind at night. That is the embarrassment. They may have underestimated you because you were kind. They thought kindness meant softness. They thought patience meant you would wait forever. They thought your willingness to understand them meant you did not have limits. And maybe they even thought your beauty was the main thing. Like, yes, you were attractive. Yes, you had that glow. But they did not understand there was a whole authority inside you, a quiet one. Not loud, not demanding, not trying to prove anything. Just there. And now everybody else feels easier but emptier. That is what I keep hearing. Easier but emptier. They can talk to other people. They can distract themselves. They can scroll. They can laugh at something. They can pretend their phone lighting up from someone else means they are fine. But then the comparison happens. And no comparison is working. Because with you, They felt seen in a way that made them feel chosen and exposed at the same time. That is why this is not simple rejection energy. This is not just, oh, they miss you. No, they feel spiritually exposed by you. Like something in your presence could tell when they were performing, when they were avoiding, when they were trying to keep the upper hand. And the more they think about it, the more one thought starts bothering them. What if you knew? What if you saw more than you said? What if you saw the little shifts? That is the part that is bothering them now, because I am looking at this King of Swords reversed, black spinel, and this is not giving me honest clarity. It is giving me somebody who had words but did not use them cleanly. Somebody who knew how to sound detached, how to sound logical, how to make silence feel like power. But reversed like this, the sword is not cutting through confusion. It is pointing down into it, and black spinel is heavy, protective, absorbing. It feels like the part of you that stopped letting every word pass through your body like a wound. So, yes, you noticed. You noticed the inconsistencies. You noticed when their tone changed. You noticed when they answered one part of the message and avoided the part that mattered. You noticed when they acted casual but wanted control. You noticed when pride was talking louder than truth. And you did not chase every answer out of them. That is what is haunting them. Because now they are lying there thinking, did they know I was avoiding that? Did they know I was trying to get a reaction? Did they know I was pretending not to care? And the uncomfortable thing is, they cannot tell how much you caught. They cannot tell where your silence ended and your awareness began. Wait, this is important. Your silence was not confusion. It was observation. You were not sitting there empty, waiting for them to define the situation for you. No, you were watching, feeling, collecting little pieces, not in a bitter way, not in a revenge way, just in that 9 of Wands way where the crossed wands are there for a reason. You do not get to walk up those stairs with half-truths and still expect access to the star. And I think they know that now. They know there was a moment where they could have been clearer, softer, more honest, more accountable. But instead, they tried to stay in control of the narrative and you let them reveal themselves. That is why their pride is restless. Because their pride keeps saying they do not know, but their intuition keeps whispering, yes, they do. And their intuition is winning. And when intuition wins, pride starts looking for somewhere to hide. That is what I am seeing here. Because now we have death reversed, jet, and listen. This is not about physical death. This is about somebody refusing an ending that already changed them. Death upright would be transformation, release, the old skin falling away. But reversed like this, it feels like someone clinging to the version of themselves that knew how to act unbothered. And jet is heavy, it absorbs, it holds. It feels like darkness that has been sitting too long in the body. So they are walking around with this unprocessed ending inside them. Publicly, they may still look fine, they may still post, still laugh, still act casual. Maybe they are being extra silent on purpose, like silence can prove they have power. Maybe they are acting unavailable because that is the only role they know how to play when they feel emotionally cornered. But privately, no. Privately, they are checking, they are wondering. They are going back and forth in their head like, should I say something? Should I wait? Are they really done? Did I push too far? And then pride jumps in and says, do not look desperate. Do not give them the satisfaction. They will come around. But you are not moving the way you used to. And that is where the panic comes in. because their ego cannot understand why your absence is louder than other people's attention. Somebody else can text them, compliment them, make them feel wanted for a moment, and still, when everything gets quiet, it is your silence they hear. Your silence has weight. Your silence has a shape. Your silence is sitting in the room with them like an unanswered question. Wait. Spirit is showing me somebody typing. They type something small, maybe casual, maybe pretending it is nothing. Then they erase it. Then they type again. Then they stare at the screen like the message itself is humiliating them. Because wanting you feels like losing a game they thought they were controlling. And that is why this death reversed energy is so uncomfortable. They do not want the old dynamic to end, but they can feel that it already has. This is not only attraction anymore. You have become a mirror they cannot avoid. And the mirror is quiet. That is what makes it so powerful. Because now I am looking at the High Priestess, Labradorite, and this is exactly the energy I was feeling before the card even came out. This is not someone yelling, "I know what you did." This is not someone begging for truth. This is somebody sitting in their own knowing, holding the scroll, eyes closed, calm in a way that makes secrets feel nervous. That is, you here. The High Priestess does not have to chase information. She feels the shift before the words arrive. She knows when the energy changes. She knows when somebody is giving her half of the truth and hoping she will be too attached to notice the missing pieces. And Labradorite makes it even deeper because this feels like hidden light. That flash under the surface. Something they did not see at first because they were looking at you too quickly, too casually, too confidently. Now they see it, and it is bothering them. Because when they look at you now or think about you at night, they are not only remembering attraction, they are remembering your standards, your self-control, your patience. The way you did not have to destroy them to prove you were hurt. The way you did not have to scream to make your absence felt. That is rare. And this is where the title keeps coming back for me. Too perfect to be real does not mean you never hurt. It does not mean you never doubt yourself. It does not mean you are floating above human feelings like nothing touches you. It means you are real in a way they cannot fake. You have been tired and still graceful, hurt and still controlled, loving and still able to step back. You had every reason to become chaotic, bitter, demanding, desperate, and somehow you did not give them that version of you. That is what makes them lose sleep, because you became a mirror of everything they wish they had handled better. Courage, honesty, quiet, faith, emotional discipline, the ability to feel something deeply without letting it drag you out of yourself. Spirit is showing me a choice coming, and they know, whether they admit it or not, they cannot approach you the old way, because the old way depended on you needing something from them, and that is not the energy on this table anymore. I am looking at the 9 of Coins, Budstone, and this is such a different kind of power. This is not loud power. This is not, look at me, I am better without you power. No. This is somebody tending to their own garden, somebody with their hands in their life, somebody learning how to feed themselves emotionally, spiritually, mentally, without waiting for someone inconsistent to decide when they want to show up. And that is the problem for them. Because when somebody is used to being the prize, they do not know what to do when you become your own. Wait, look at her face on this card. She is smiling, but she is not smiling at anybody. She is focused on what she is growing. The coins are around her, the plants are alive, the whole card feels like, I may have wanted you, but I was never empty without you. That is what they are starting to understand. You were never standing there with nothing. You had love, yes. You had patience, yes. You had softness, yes. But you also had a whole life inside you, a whole future. A whole private garden they did not build and cannot claim just because they miss the smell of it now. And that is why this choice is pressing on them. Because if they come towards you casually, you will feel it. If they come toward you with ego, you will see it. If they come toward you just to check whether the door still opens, that 9 of Wands energy is still there. The crossed wands are still there. The stairs are still guarded. And now the 9 of Coins says, even if the door stays closed, you still have somewhere beautiful to be. That is what scares them. You are not sitting in emotional poverty anymore, waiting for one coin of attention. You are surrounded by what you earned by surviving them. And Spirit keeps showing me that this person knows a lazy message will not be enough. A little hey will not be enough. A joke will not be enough. A random reaction to your story will not be enough. Your glow is forcing more than desire out of them. It is forcing confession. And the confession is not clean at first. That is the thing, because I am looking at the Hanged Man reversed, Iolite, and this is somebody who has been hanging in their own delay for too long. Upright, the Hanged Man can pause, reflect, surrender, see things differently. But reversed, this feels like resistance. Like somebody who knows the truth, but keeps twisting away from it because admitting it would mean they have to stop pretending. They were just confused. They were not just confused, they were afraid. What I am hearing is, I thought I had more time. That is the part they do not want to admit. They thought your patience would keep creating more chances. They thought your understanding would stretch forever. They thought if they stayed still long enough, you would be the one to bend around their silence. And now they are realizing you were not bending. You were waiting to see who they chose to become. Wait, there is shame here, real shame. Not the loud kind where somebody makes a dramatic apology just to feel forgiven. This is quiet shame. The kind that shows up at 2:17 in the morning when they remember how many times you gave them space, to be honest. And they used that space to hide. They underestimated you. They mistook patience for weakness. They mistook your softness for lack of standards. They mistook your emotional depth for emotional dependence. And now, with this Hanged Man reversed, they are seeing the situation from a position they did not choose. Because you moved. Not necessarily physically, not even loudly. But something in you shifted out from under them. And now they are suspended in the consequences. And Iolite feels like that inner vision they cannot turn off. They are seeing you differently now. Seeing how rare it was that you cared without clinging. How rare it was that you stayed kind without being blind. How rare it was that you gave them room and still kept your dignity. There is awe here, there is longing, there is disbelief. And underneath all of it, there is fear that your peace no longer has a place for them. But listen, what matters now is not whether they are losing sleep. It is what you choose to protect, your peace, your garden. The version of you that had to learn how to stand there with crossed wands and still keep a light above your head. Because I am looking at this 3 of Coins, chrysoprase, and this is such a beautiful closing energy because it is not lonely, it is not empty, it is not somebody abandoned in the dark waiting to be chosen. No, this is growth. This is something being built. This is the part of you that is learning, maybe slowly, maybe imperfectly, that love is not supposed to cost you your foundation. And chrysoprase feels like the heart softening without reopening every door. That matters. because their sleeplessness is not your assignment. Their realization is not your emergency. Their regret does not automatically become your responsibility to soothe. Yes, they may be awake. Yes, they may be haunted. Yes, they may finally be seeing what they should have seen when you were standing right there, offering them something real. But you are not here to rescue them from the truth they avoided. You are here to protect what the truth taught you, and that 9 of Wands energy is still around you. The azurite, the star, the guarded stairs. You are not bitter. You are not cold. You are not trying to punish anybody. You are just no longer available to be casually reached by someone who only becomes honest when losing access scares them. That is the difference. And when the title says you are too perfect to be real, this is what I think it means now. You became too whole to manipulate, too calm to bait, too aware to confuse, too protected to walk toward with a half-truth and expect a full welcome. That is not fake perfection, that is earned peace. And maybe they do come forward. Maybe the message finally gets sent. Maybe they stop deleting the words and actually say something with weight. But even then, the victory is not that they finally see you. The victory is that you see yourself. You know what you survived. You know what you carried. You know how many times you stayed soft when life gave you every reason to harden completely. So let them lose sleep if that is what truth requires. You are allowed to rest now.